How Sami Zayn will prove himself to Roman Reigns at Royal Rumble 2023. WWE trying to turn Kevin Owens into Stone Cold Steve Austin. Bray Wyatt heavily bashed. Triple H highly praised for the first half of Raw 30. WWE nixed huge plans for Becky Lynch on Raw 30. WWE ticket sales for the Royal Rumble leaked. Let's jump right into it. Bray Wyatt heavily bashed. Legendary pro wrestling manager Jim Cornette isn't a fan of former Universal Champion Bray Wyatt or the Firefly Funhouse segments in WWE. On SmackDown last week, the Funhouse made its return and featured all the puppets: Abby the Witch, Ramblin' Rabbit, Mercy the Buzzard, and Huskus the Pig. This was after LA Knight's match against a local competitor. The two stars are currently set to collide in a pitch-black match at the Royal Rumble. Speaking on the latest edition of the Jim Cornette Experience, the 61-year-old WWE veteran blasted Bray Wyatt for the Firefly Funhouse segment. It's official, ladies and gentlemen, Bray Wyatt sucks. He's the SH2S. He's a great promo talent that he does nothing with. This whole deal is FG rotten. It makes no sense, it's phony, it buries anybody that's involved with it. How do you book anybody after this guy gets finished with them? And we were blaming Vince. The Firefly Funhouse made its debut on April 22, 2019, but was cancelled after Wyatt was released by the company. It made its return last week on SmackDown, which means The Fiend could also return soon. During the same podcast, Jim Cornette stated that the Eater of Worlds could have been a good wrestler if he hadn't portrayed the supernatural character. Well, they've been doing this and Vince has been gone, and now that Vince is back, I don't think suddenly his first order of business was get that Firefly Funhouse back on television. This is what Bray Wyatt wants to do. He doesn't want to use his obvious vocal talent to be a believable kick-ass wrestler in the mode of his family tree. Bray will make his WWE in-ring return at the Royal Rumble this Saturday night at the Royal Rumble. He returned to the company last year at Extreme Rules. Following his return, he has been haunted by a mysterious character called Uncle Howdy, who even attacked Wyatt on an episode of SmackDown. The former Universal Champion was also recently aided by The Undertaker on the Raw 30 episode. The two men also had a passing of the torch moment. Do you think LA Knight will defeat Wyatt at Royal Rumble? Sound off in the comments section below. The Undertaker sends a 3-word message to Bray Wyatt. WWE Hall of Famer The Undertaker recently sent an appreciation message to Bray Wyatt following their segment on WWE Raw 30. The Undertaker returned to WWE for Raw's 30th anniversary episode. Following a promo from LA Knight, the Phenom emerged in his American Badass persona. He put Knight in a stranglehold before feeding him to Bray Wyatt, who delivered his sister Abigail. Before leaving, the Deadman whispered something in Wyatt's ear. Later on, the Hall of Famer took to Twitter to talk about his segment with Wyatt, calling the moment special. Wyatt also had a message for the legendary superstar, stating that the time spent in the ring was the culmination of a lifetime of sacrifices. The Phenom has now sent a 3-word response to the former Universal Champion. Respect is earned, Taker wrote. Keeping aside his heartfelt exchange with The Undertaker on Twitter, Bray Wyatt will likely shift his attention to January 28th. At the Royal Rumble event, the Eater of Worlds will face LA Knight in a first-ever Mountain Dew pitch black match. There is little information about how the match will unfold and who will have the advantage. However, after weeks of feuding, it is a given that both superstars will want to get the better of each other. The former Universal Champion will also be on the lookout for the ominous presence of Uncle Howdy. Since his return at Extreme Rules on October 8 last year, Howdy has been haunting Wyatt on SmackDown. Although the character's identity remains a mystery, he has already attacked Wyatt on SmackDown. It came as a surprise to fans, as many thought that Howdy would side with Bray Wyatt. It remains to be seen whether the mysterious character will have a role to play at the Rumble. What do you think of The Undertaker's message to Bray Wyatt? Sound off in the comments section below. What The Undertaker could have whispered to Bray Wyatt at WWE Raw 30. Former rivals Bray Wyatt and WWE Hall of Famer The Undertaker met at the 30th anniversary special of Monday Night Raw. Taker wound up assisting Bray as the latter hit sister Abigail on LA Knight. The segment received a ton of praise. As the American Badass was leaving the ring, he inaudibly whispered something in Wyatt's ear. Whilst WWE and both wrestlers involved haven't disclosed what it was, a former superstar has joked about it via Twitter. Much like Bray Wyatt himself, the Boogeyman is a weird horror-themed character. The two are no strangers to each other either. The latter had a short-lived in-ring career with the global juggernaut but is currently signed to the company under a Legends contract. The wrestling veteran tweeted following the Monday night show, Undertaker says, "You know the Boogeyman is still coming to get you," following Bray's return at Extreme Rules in October 2022. A fan with the handle of @IvanGFX brought up the possibility of a contest between the Boogeyman and Bray Wyatt. The 58-year-old legend responded to the tweet by saying that it's very possible. He further went on to tease the match, which is considered a dream bout by many. Despite the Stanford-based promotion having plans for the former WWE Universal Champion at the Show of Shows, one can't rule out the possibility of this exciting bout taking place at WrestleMania 39 itself, as there is plenty of time between now and Mania to finalize things. While the Boogeyman hasn't wrestled in years, Wyatt will compete in his first televised match since 2021 at this weekend's Royal Rumble Premium Live event. Bray and LA Knight are scheduled to compete in a pitch-black match, which is reportedly a variation of a street fight with neon elements involved in the unique bout as well. Are you excited for the rumored Uncle Howdy vs. Bray Wyatt match at Mania? Sound off in the comments section below. WWE trying to turn Kevin Owens into Stone Cold Steve Austin. Former WWE head writer Vince Russo has slammed the company's booking of Kevin Owens, stating that the latter is a far cry from Stone Cold Steve Austin. The prizefighter will compete in one of the biggest matches of his career on Saturday as he takes on Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. KO was also present on Raw 30 this week, where he delivered a stunner to The Miz before addressing the upcoming title match. Speaking on Sportskeeda Wrestling's Legion of Raw, Vince Russo highlighted that WWE is trying to book Owens as the modern-day Stone Cold Steve Austin, and the former does not fit well in that role. If you have casual fans tuning into this, I swear to God what every casual fan is saying is, does this guy actually think he's Steve Austin? Because he's not Steve Austin. As a matter of fact, he's a far cry from. I hate them painting him in a Steve Austin role. Russo continued, Kevin Owens is not a Steve Austin. I'm sorry, bro, he's not. I'm telling you, that's how casual fans perceive it, for him to come in and be stunning everybody. He's not Austin, bro. He'll never be Austin. Why would you want to put a guy like that in a position like that? The Texas Rattlesnake came out of retirement last year as he faced Kevin Owens at WrestleMania in an impromptu match. Stone Cold headlined night one of the event, where he defeated the prizefighter. Do you agree with Russo's remarks about Owens? Sound off in the comments below. Stone Cold Steve Austin approached for a match against Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 39. As per the latest reports, WWE Hall of Famer Stone Cold Steve Austin was approached by the company for a match against Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. It was recently noted by Fightful that the promotion pitched a match between Stone Cold and Reigns for WrestleMania 39. Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer provided an update on the situation, stating that WWE approached Austin for a match against Brock Lesnar. Providing further clarification on Twitter, Dave Meltzer noted that the company wanted the Texas Rattlesnake to face either Lesnar or Reigns, and both matches were pitched for the Showcase of the Immortals. However, nothing is confirmed as of this writing. The Beast Incarnate returned to action on the latest edition of Raw as he cost Bobby Lashley the United States Championship match against Austin Theory. Lesnar and Lashley have some unresolved issues, and it looks like they could collide at WrestleMania for the third encounter between them. Roman Reigns, meanwhile, will be in action at Royal Rumble, where he will defend his coveted undisputed world titles against Kevin Owens. The Tribal Chief has also had to deal with internal problems in the bloodline in recent weeks, with Sami Zayn's association with the group in question. The Tribal Chief and the Beast Incarnate are two of the most popular pro wrestling stars of the current time. Both stars have dominated the WWE landscape over the past few years, and this was on display at WrestleMania last year. The duo headlined WrestleMania 38 in Texas in a title versus title match. Lesnar's WWE Championship was on the line against Roman's Universal title, with the winner taking it all. In the end, the Tribal Chief reigned supreme to become the first ever undisputed WWE Universal Champion. The Bloodline leader has held on to both world titles since then, defeating the likes of Matt Riddle and Drew McIntyre along the way. Recently, there were reports of Reigns being stripped of one of the championships. However, that does not look likely in the near future. Brock Lesnar returned to challenge Roman Reigns once again at SummerSlam. However, the Beast Incarnate could not overcome the Bloodline's numbers advantage. He has since been involved in a feud with Bobby Lashley. What do you make of Stone Cold either facing Lesnar or Reigns at WrestleMania? Let us know in the comments section below. Triple H highly praised for the first half of Raw 30. Vince Russo was quite impressed with the effort WWE put in for Raw 30. On Monday, he even live tweeted regarding the show. The historic Raw 30 episode started with the trial of Sami Zayn and featured top names, including Roman Reigns. Other big names were also involved in the first half of the show. Speaking on Sportskeeda Wrestling's latest edition of Legion of Raw, Russo mentioned that WWE is well capable of putting together good shows once they start showing effort. I tweeted out, when we were at the midway point. Here at 7.30, on the East Coast it would have been 9.30. The first hour and a half, the WWE blew it out of the water. This show was great for the first hour and a half, which showed me and told me, bro, they can do it if they want to do it. Because what are we talking about here? We are talking about effort. The effort was there. In continuation, Russo mentioned that there is always room for improvement for WWE. Hence, he is mostly critical of the modern-day product. The effort was there, so everybody that gets pie at me when I bury the show because I'm saying they can do better, and unless you force them to do better, they're just going to phone it in every week. They showed you tonight what they are capable of doing and I put it over," added Vince Russo. In continuation of the same conversation, Vince Russo claimed that WWE lost the Raw 30 momentum in the third hour. Russo was highly impressed with the start of the show but thought that the creative lost the plot in the final few segments. "Bro, the first 2 hours were solid. I think they threw away the third hour. I mean, the first 2 hours were the last hour they lost. We'll get into that. I thought this Bloodline trial was very solid," said Vince Russo. Raw 30 was headlined by Bobby Lashley and Austin Theory, who successfully defended the United States Championship over the former. The show's ending saw Brock Lesnar return as he hit an F5 on both Lashley and Theory. What were your thoughts on Raw 30? Sound off in the comments section below. WWE nixed huge plans for Becky Lynch on Raw 30. Becky Lynch has established herself as one of the faces of the women's division in the company. However, even the man was unable to save her match with Bayley, which was cut short on Raw. According to a recent report, WWE had huge plans for Big Time Bex. Last year, Damage Control attacked Becky Lynch, taking her off television after her loss to Bianca Belair at SummerSlam 2022. In November, she made a miraculous return to the company and joined Team Belair for WWE Survivor Series War Games. Bayley and Lynch continued their feud even after the premium live event on the Red brand. According to a new report from PW Insider, the man was scheduled to win the steel cage match against Bayley before the match was cut short and scrapped. The steel cage match between Becky Lynch and Bayley did not go as envisioned on tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw, PWInsider.com has confirmed. The original plan was for Becky to win and then be beaten down by Damage Control. It will be interesting to see if WWE allows the two to ultimately have the match at the Royal Rumble Premium Live event or a future episode of Raw. Last year, Bayley returned to the company after being on hiatus due to an injury for over a year. Upon her return, she immediately targeted Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair on the blue brand with her newly formed stable Damage Control. She failed to beat Bianca Belair on countless occasions and focused her attention on the man. She attacked Lynch last night before they could start the steel cage match. Later, she explained her actions to the WWE Universe. "I was supposed to be in a cage match because that's what Becky wanted. Am I supposed to do whatever Becky wants? No, I have a mind of my own, Dakota has a mind of her own, Io has a mind of her own, we don't have to listen to anybody. We are called Damage Control, which means we are in control, okay. Becky doesn't tell me what to do or when to do it or where to be or when I'm gonna put my body on the line for this kind of match," said Bayley. It will be interesting to see what happens next between the man and the role model on the Red brand. Do you want to see Lynch versus Bayley inside a steel cage? Sound off in the comments section below. WWE ticket sales for the Royal Rumble leaked. The first stop on the road to WrestleMania is the WWE Royal Rumble, and it seems people are definitely interested, as the ticket sales have shown. According to WrestleTix on Twitter, the Alamodome has officially crossed over the 40,000 ticket sales mark. This is the latest public post they released on January 17th, showing the remaining availability of tickets for the Royal Rumble. Since the post, however, WWE has crossed over the 40,000 ticket mark, as WrestleTix has discussed on their Patreon. They mentioned that the total distributed ticket number is currently at 40,699, while there are 2,728 tickets up for resale. There is a chance that the number of tickets distributed will continue to rise as WWE and the Alamodome open up a few more areas throughout the arena. With less than a week to go until the Royal Rumble takes place, this is a great sign of things for the company as a whole. The Royal Rumble Premium Live event typically does not feature a large number of matches due to having two different Royal Rumble matches. However, as of this writing, other than the two Rumbles, 3 matches have been officially announced for the show, including the Pitch Black match between Bray Wyatt and LA Knight. 2 championship matches that have been announced, as Bianca Belair defends her Raw Women's Championship against Alexa Bliss. The WWE Undisputed Universal Championship will also be on the line as the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns takes on Kevin Owens. Of course, the main draws for this show will be the Royal Rumble matches themselves. As of this writing, there are not too many names that have been announced for the matches. There are always a bunch of surprises for the event in both Royal Rumble matches, so this will definitely be a fun night of wrestling, and one fans will not want to miss. Where are you most excited for the 2023 Royal Rumble? Let us know in the comments section below. How Sami Zayn will prove himself to Roman Reigns at Royal Rumble 2023. Roman Reigns may have declared Sami Zayn innocent on Raw, but you could tell he wasn't happy. Jey Uso's last-ditch defense saved the latter's bacon, making sure he stayed in the bloodline for the time being. Reigns ended the session by telling Zayn that he would have to pass a final test at the Royal Rumble. He will take on Kevin Owens with the undisputed WWE Universal Championship on the line. Given the history the Honorary U shares with Owens, he couldn't have asked for a worse test to prove himself to the Tribal Chief. As such, we look at 4 ways in which Sami Zayn can prove himself to Roman Reigns at Royal Rumble. On our list of ways in which Sami Zayn can prove himself to Roman Reigns at Royal Rumble, successfully interfere in the title match. This is the bare minimum Sami Zayn is expected to do for Roman Reigns at Royal Rumble. Facing Kevin Owens is no easy task and will be made worse by the fact that he is motivated and driven on an obsessive level these days. The champion will need everything at his disposal, including a resourceful honorary use. Zayn will be expected to do his bit to help Reigns retain against Owens in a way that doesn't make him or the bloodline look bad. Easier said than done. We'll see on Saturday. Attack Kevin Owens backstage before the match and soften him up. Roman Reigns will want Kevin Owens at his weakest at the Royal Rumble. This can be accomplished if the Samoan faction manages to attack and weaken him before his match. Sami Zayn could do a favor for his boss by being the one to do the honors. Zayn attacking and injuring his former best friend before the latter's clash with Reigns would be a fitting display of loyalty. He could do it either on the upcoming episode of SmackDown or on January 28th. The master strategist is an extremely cunning and resourceful superstar and could use these traits to good effect for his tribal chief. The head of the table will have no trouble retaining his title over a KO who is not at a 100%. If that can happen, thanks to Sami, it will be a massive W for him. Attack Jey Uso if ordered to do so. Jey Uso defending Sami Zayn during the tribal court on Raw was peak television, but Roman Reigns may see it as a sign of disrespect. His cousin essentially upstaged him and forced his hand into delivering an unplanned verdict, which meant he threw his future up in the air in one move. What if the mad thing happens, and Reigns tells Zayn his test is to remove Jey out of the equation by attacking him at the Royal Rumble? It would be a huge dilemma for the latter to have to choose between his tribal chief or the man who saved him from certain doom. If the honorary use ends up passing the test, we can all collectively raise our index fingers for him. Win the Royal Rumble match and relinquish the title opportunity. We would lose our minds if this were to happen. The ultimate test of loyalty would come if Sami Zayn wins the Royal Rumble match and earns himself a title opportunity against Roman Reigns. We would all want him to go ahead with it. Unfortunately, Zayn lives in the real world, and the real world sucks. He could show his loyalty to Reigns and the bloodline by giving up his world title match. It would be an act of selflessness that melts the heart of the cynical head of the table. At least, we hope that will be the case.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take